Hello, I'm Adam from Roots to Fruit. Today I would like to talk to you about my favourite of all flowering plants. If you've got a lawn, a school playing field, even a scratchy bit of grass in the middle of the street where you live, it's probably the case that you've come into contact with this plant. It's a plant that I love so much that when my baby daughter was born, she was only ever going to have one name, and that is Daisy. Just a couple of the words I think of when I think about the daisy are cheeky and cheerful, but the plant is so much more than that. It's a true survivor. It's a survival story, because the daisy, despite its fragile and delicate appearance, is one of the toughest plants that you're ever gonna come across. There are around 400 different species of daisy, and they exist on every continent on our planet except Antarctica. And part of their success is down to the fact that they don't mind where it is that they grow. They're equally happy in dry conditions, in wet conditions. They're as happy in shade as they are in full sun. Another reason that the daisy is so successful is because it's super efficient in the way that it reproduces. It reproduces in two ways. It grows on what we call a rhizome root, which means the plant sends down a root into the soil vertically, like most plants do. But then it will also send that root across horizontally, and from those horizontal roots under the soil it will send up new shoots from which new flower heads will emerge. But it also reproduces through pollination too. It contains both the male and the female parts that are required for pollination. A bee will land on the flower head, crawl around and pick up pollen from the male anthers. It will then drop that pollen from its furry little bee body onto the female stigmas, thus pollinating that flower head. And the flower head itself is really interesting, because actually it's what we call a composite flower, which means that it's made up of two different flowers. The yellow part in the middle is lots and lots of little individual yellow flowers called a disc floret. And the white petals around the edge there, they are called the ray floret. And it's that flower head that gives the daisy its name. The daisies that we're looking at here are starting to do something interesting. We are making this film in the late afternoon. It's drawing on towards the evening now, and so the flowers here are starting to close for the night. The daisy is one of a few species of plant on our planet that moves. The petals close in the evening and the flower is shut for the night. In the morning, when the sun comes up, then the flower head opens up to receive the sunlight. And that's where, in very early English, the daisy got its name. It was the day's eye. In the same way that you open your eyes in the morning, the flower opens on the daisy. Hence, the day's eye, or daisy. She loves me, she loves me not. She loves me, she loves me not. This is a really old superstition that people have done for many, many years. She loves me, she loves me not. She loves me. Where you pull the petals off the daisy, saying those words, and when you're just left with that central florette, whatever you landed on must certainly be true. And the daisy, for thousands of years, actually has been associated with love. The Vikings believed that the daisy was the flower most loved by their goddess, Freya. Freya was the goddess of love, she was the goddess of beauty, but she was also the goddess of motherhood. And so when a new baby was born, they would present the mother with bouquets of flowers made from daisies. And the Vikings weren't the only ones that attributed the daisy to love. The Romans did it too. In their mythology, their god of the garden and of the seasons, a god called Vertumnus, fell in love with a beautiful nymph. Now, a nymph is a nature-loving female spirit, and her name was Beliades. And Vertumnus loved her, but Beliades didn't love him back. And so he pursued her, he chased her, he begged her to be with him. And the only way that Beliades could escape him was to turn herself into a daisy. And that's actually where the daisy gets its scientific name. From Beliades, the nymph, the scientific name for our daisy is Bellis. And those are just two examples of how the daisy has managed to work its way into our mythology and into our history. Two examples of many. But there is perhaps one that is more well known than any other, and it is perhaps the oldest superstition, the oldest tradition concerning the daisy of them all. How the daisy and jewellery made from it can protect us from being kidnapped by the fairies. And I'm going to ask my daughter, Daisy, to show you how to do it.
The great thing about daisies is they grow just about anywhere, and apart from the middle of winter, you can find them flowering all year round. I found some here on the forest floor near where I live, but they're in our lawns, in the verges on our road, and all over our local playing field. When you're making a daisy chain, it's much easier if you can pick daisies with long stems. It will give you more room to work with. About 3/4 of the way along the stem, very carefully make a slit with the corner of your thumbnail. Once you have that hole, thread the next daisy through, stem first, until it locks in against the flower head. Repeat this until you have a chain of daisies long enough for the jewellery you're trying to make. Whether it's a bracelet, necklace or crown, daisies are so pretty they can make even the most scruffy overgrown places look better.
An old saying that's attributed to the daisy is, whoops-a-daisy. And we say that when we make a mistake or when we fall over. And the idea is that we pick ourselves up, we dust ourselves off, and we carry on. And that's a great plan, isn't it, to attribute a phrase like that to? Because despite being small and fragile in appearance, we've learned that it's one tough cookie that keeps coming back for more. Loved by the Vikings, the Romans, and everybody afterwards. It's been used as a medicine to cure chest infections and to stop bleeding. Its leaves are used in salads for food, and it looks beautiful too. And more than that, it's protection from those fairies that are looking to whisk us away. So, the daisy, what's not to love? Take care. See you again next time. So, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up. And we'd also be really interested to hear what you thought in the comments below. Also, you'll see that there's a bell icon there underneath the video. If you press that, you'll be sure to get a notification every time that we upload new content to this channel. But most importantly of all, the thing that really helps us out is if you press that subscribe button. So, thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you all again soon.